Today, we delve into a fascinating and highly speculative concept, the idea of human communication via nonverbal quantum entanglement. This notion proposes a form of interaction that transcends conventional understanding. It suggests a connection between individuals that operates outside our known sensory and technological means. This concept is currently unsupported by mainstream scientific consensus. Despite its lack of empirical validation, it continues to capture the imagination of some researchers and a significant portion of the public. Its intriguing nature often leads to its exploration in various science fiction narratives. The core premise revolves around the idea that two individuals could become quantumly entangled. In quantum mechanics, entanglement describes a state where two or more particles are linked. Their quantum states become correlated in such a way that they cannot be described independently of each other. This correlation exists regardless of the distance separating the entangled particles. A measurement performed on one instantaneously influences the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are. This phenomenon is one of the most counterintuitive aspects of quantum theory. The theoretical implication of human quantum entanglement is profound. It suggests the possibility of instantaneous, non-verbal communication between individuals. This would bypass all known physical limitations, including the speed of light. The status of experiments attempting to demonstrate human quantum entanglement is preliminary and often controversial. These studies operate at the very fringes of established science. They face significant skepticism from the broader scientific community. The general objective of these experiments is to attempt to correlate responses between individuals. Researchers look for simultaneous patterns in brain activity or physiological responses. These correlations are sought between two participants, often separated by significant distances. Participants are typically two individuals, sometimes chosen for a pre-existing close relationship. The separation can range from different rooms to entirely different geographical locations. The data analysis focuses on identifying any evidence of entanglement-like correlations. Measurement techniques employed in these studies include electroencephalography, or EEG, for brainwave measurement. EEG records electrical activity in the brain, providing insights into cognitive and emotional states. Another common technique is galvanic skin response, or GSR. GSR measures changes in the electrical conductivity of the skin. These changes are often indicative of emotional or cognitive states, reflecting arousal or stress. Both EEG and GSR provide objective physiological data for analysis. A common experimental design involves designating roles, a sender and a receiver. The sender is exposed to a specific stimulus, such as a visual image or a sound. Meanwhile, the receiver is shielded from this stimulus, ensuring no conventional sensory input. Researchers then analyze the EEG or GSR data collected from both participants simultaneously. The primary goal is to search for simultaneous correlations in their patterns. This includes looking for matching brainwave patterns or synchronized physiological responses. Crucially, these correlations are sought even when the receiver is entirely unaware of the stimulus presented to the sender. The hypothesis is that if entanglement exists, the receiver's state might reflect the sender's experience without direct knowledge. The interpretation of experimental results in this field is highly debated. What one group considers evidence, another dismisses as noise or artifact. This divergence highlights the speculative nature of the entire endeavor. Proponents of human quantum entanglement view observed correlations as potential evidence. They particularly focus on correlations that appear instantaneous, seemingly defying classical communication limits. Such findings, they argue, suggest that quantum entanglement might be at play. These researchers believe that if human entanglement were possible, it would bypass classical communication limitations. This would include overcoming the speed of light barrier, a fundamental constraint in classical physics. The idea is that information can be shared instantly, regardless of distance. This perspective often draws parallels with the non-local nature of quantum entanglement observed in subatomic particles. They propose that similar principles might extend to complex biological systems, such as the human brain. However, this remains a significant leap from established physics. The scientific community largely dismisses these claims of human quantum entanglement. The skepticism stems from several fundamental concerns regarding both methodology and theoretical compatibility. These concerns are widely shared among physicists and neuroscientists. Key concerns raised by critics include the weakness of observed correlations. Many reported correlations are statistically marginal, making it difficult to distinguish them from random chance. This leads to questions about the statistical insignificance of findings. Critics also highlight the difficulty in ruling out chance occurrences. In complex biological systems, random fluctuations can easily mimic patterns. Furthermore, the difficulty in ruling out experimental artifacts is a major concern. Uncontrolled variables or subtle biases can influence results. The complexity of the human brain itself presents a significant measurement challenge. The brain is an incredibly intricate system, constantly active and influenced by countless internal and external factors. This makes isolating specific subtle effects extremely difficult. The noisy environment of EEG and GSR measurements further complicates analysis. These techniques are susceptible to various forms of interference, both physiological and environmental. This noise can obscure genuine signals or create spurious correlations. A major challenge lies in isolating genuine quantum effects from classical ones. Even if correlations are observed, attributing them specifically to quantum entanglement requires rigorous proof. It is difficult to exclude all classical mechanisms that might produce similar patterns. Perhaps the most significant criticism is the incompatibility with current quantum mechanics understanding. Standard quantum theory does not support entanglement between macroscopic objects, such as human brains. Macroscopic objects are constantly interacting with their environment. These interactions cause macroscopic objects to undergo decoherence, rapidly losing their quantum properties. This process effectively prevents large, warm, and complex systems like brains from maintaining entanglement. The conditions required for entanglement are extremely fragile. Critics also point to a misleading use of the term nonverbal. While the communication might not rely on spoken language, the experimental designs often involve conscious or unconscious stimulus processing. This opens the door for classical mechanisms to influence observed correlations. For example, subtle cues, shared expectations, or even subconscious physiological responses could account for observed correlations. These classical explanations are often more parsimonious than invoking quantum entanglement. In conclusion, the idea of human communication via nonverbal quantum entanglement remains intriguing. It taps into a deep human desire for connection and understanding beyond conventional limits. However, its scientific basis is currently tenuous. Current experimental evidence is far from conclusive. The studies conducted so far have not provided robust, reproducible results that stand up to rigorous scientific scrutiny. Observed correlations are often weak and subject to multiple interpretations. The interpretations of these findings are highly debated within the scientific community. There is no widespread agreement on the validity or significance of the reported correlations. The underlying theoretical framework for human quantum entanglement is not well established. For this concept to gain scientific acceptance, there is a clear need for more robust and reproducible results. Future experiments would require extremely stringent controls and a theoretical model compatible with known physics. Until then, the claim remains highly speculative. It currently lacks widespread scientific acceptance and is largely considered outside the realm of mainstream physics and neuroscience. While the concept is captivating, it requires substantial empirical and theoretical development to move beyond its current speculative status.